Alright, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is the brother Nahal from the James Kingston, Jamaica camp, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, double honors to our apostles and elders of James Greenwood Stone. Peace, love, and salutations to the Akim in the four corners of this earth, who push this word with all truth and sincerity. Right? Shalom to the speckled brother Akim and Akot out there who are tuned in, listening and learning with the hopes of being saved by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So, in this video, I'll be going into, let's say, the progress to the MOTB. The M to the A to the R to the K. We're basically getting closer and closer to the implementation of the mark of the beast, which is, as we know already, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, which is given on to reveal unto our elders and our apostles of James on Great Millstone all the way down. Right? It is the the micro, CHIP, the RFID microchip. Yeah. So we're getting closer and closer to the implementation of that, and we know that with the RFID microchip implemented, then we're practically out of here. Just to follow the elder apostle. Alright, man, but hey, we're practically out of here because that's one of the major prophecies to take place, because with that prophecy, we're gonna know that for one, World War III, it follows right after. We have what the Hour of Temptation within that, as well. And we would also Jacob's trouble as well, So it's like, when you see the RFID microchip being fully implemented, fully pushed throughout the four corners of the earth, on a mandatory level, which it will be, it will be, and they'll cause it to take it, as it says in Revelation 13 and 16, by means of compulsory, because you'll need it to access, to buy and sell, to access government service, healthcare, you name it, right? Parties, as you Israelites, so-called niggers and Latinos and Native Americans love to go to, So that's what it's gonna cause you to take it, So we're getting closer and closer to the implementation of that device, and practically our salvation is nigh at hand, I'm also gonna read some scriptures. I have some articles as well. I'll get into them. I'll leave the link to them in the description box for those who want to read into them as well. And hey, practically prepare your mind. Prepare your mind, prepare your spirit. Get right with the Heavenly Father. You so-called niggers, Latinos, and Native Americans, as you are the true biblical Israelites according to the scriptures. And hey, Yahweh Shai, which Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai being the true name of His Son, right? Their return is nigh. The Son's return, or Savior return, is nigh, and He's gonna tear shit up when He returns, You know what I mean? So practically get your mind right, get your spirit right, in hopes that you'll be a part of the few, right? A part of the few that will be saved, Ezekiel 3:13 Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. So it's basically a warning from the Heavenly Father. It's also a petition, but also a warning, because how Shai, right? When he returns, it's again, he's gonna tear shit up. It won't be as Christians put it to be, this whole rapture, peaceful ass shit when Yahushua returns. He's bringing a sword. He's bringing death and destruction. Hey, mainly on these heathen and Esau Edom, but hey, a lot also on you Israelites, you wicked Israelites, You know what I mean? So let me get Romans as well. This is Romans 13 and 11. It says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. You know what I mean? The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Right? Because the night is far spent. Esau has long been in rulership, and his time is coming to an end. It's coming to a closure, and that's also one of the reasons why these international banking elites, you know what I mean, so-called elites, that's why they are putting forth their agenda, pushing it forth so hard, for those who have eyes to see, you know what I mean. You can even watch truthers as well. Truthers will show you one or two things that they're doing, their agenda coming together, whether it's in the technological industry, the food industry, you know what I mean, you name it, their agenda is being pushed forward, right, on a rapid scale, no more than ever, because what, the return of Yahweh Shai is not at hand, you know. So the night is far spent. You know what I mean? The night is far spent, so it's time to what, cast off the works of darkness. Again, get right, right? This is Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. You know? And Yahweh Shemesha as well, he's speeding time up. You know what I mean? Because scripture tells us that if it's not for if it hasn't been for the elect's sake, there wouldn't be any flesh left on the earth. So Yahweh Shemesha is basically, you know, um there is an appointed time, but yeah, even within this construct, it's appointed for the times to go on faster, so that we can get our salvation, as it say, nearer than what we believe, So yeah, let's get into this. It says El Salvador makes Bitcoin legal tender. Let's just get to the point. El Salvador has become the first country in the world to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, allowing citizens to use the cryptocurrency to make payments for goods and services, as well as pay their tax bills and receive remittance from abroad. You know what I mean? Now, Bahamas already, they have implemented their central bank digital currency. Right now, Bahamians, right, you can use their central bank digital currency, right, on an app. They've partnered. There's an app called Island Pay, and they've partnered with Mastercard to what, to enable Bahamians to host CBDC on the app, and then, if needed, they can convert it to real cash through wherever Mastercard is accepted. So, in my perspective, Bahamas is 10 steps ahead of El Salvador, But the step that El Salvador, right, is making, it's a major one as well. It's a major footprint in the digital society, because the end goal of the elite, is to have all things, I mean, all documents, all currencies, all payments, you name it, digital, right, on that, again, M to the A to the R to the K, that RFID microchip. That's the end goal of the international banking elites. Aaron Russo told what's that guy name again, of Infowars, that brother from Infowars, right? Aaron Russo told that guy from Infowars about it. You know what I mean? A lot of persons have come out, whistleblowers have come out and talked about it. Even the guy that made the RFID microchip himself talked about it, You know what I mean? And we have seen where instances where people have, especially in places like Sweden, have gotten the RFID microchip, and they use it for various things, opening doors, starting cars, entering into parties. And they even talked about persons, a company in Sweden actually microchip their employees, So the employees can what firstly use it as identification, and then they can even purchase things from vending machines. So it isn't far-fetched. It isn't some um, cyber future type thing where you see in a movie. Well, it is, but it's real. It's real. It isn't a fiction. It's a non-fiction. So this move that El Salvador made, it's again a major one because cryptocurrency, it all runs on a blockchain. Cryptocurrencies, all of these cryptocurrencies as well, they are blockchain softwares as well, like Ripple. I think Ether as well is a blockchain as well. So to make Bitcoin legal tender, in the country, right? It not only set up the infrastructure for a digital, in a digital way, for digital means, where they can easily, right, just change over from crypto to the CBDC, right? But also it gets the people familiar with buying and selling using a cryptocurrency, a digital currency. So it's a major move, But again, Bahamas is like 10 steps ahead, because they've talked about central bank digital currencies, and they're saying that look, this isn't like cryptocurrencies. Central bank digital currency is backed by the fiat currency, which is basically the same bullshit because fiat currency isn't backed by anything. It's not backed by gold or silver or commodity, you know. So it's really the same bullshit. But what they're saying is the CBDC is backed by the fiat currency, and that it's a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning a dollar for a dollar. A digital CBDC equals to $1 paper physical. And they're saying that the CBDC as well will be government protected, and so on and so forth, like just as the legal tender. Even though El Salvador made cryptocurrency legal tender, it's still separate from their actual dollar. You know, yeah. So there's a difference, in not a major difference. If you can see that, and I won't go any more into this here. Right. Next is Bank of England. It says Bank of England sets out core principle for digital pound. Now this now is a way major step than what El Salvador did. Because what they are talking about now is a CBDC for the pound, you know, digital pound. It's okay. All right. So it says financial inclusion, creating and competitive ecosystem, comparison with other payment innovations, user privacy and monetary and financial stability will be the 5 core principles that guide the Bank of England's future exploration and development of a central bank digital currency (CBDC) in the UK, the financial institution has revealed. The bank has drawn up the principle based on stakeholders' feedback to its March 2020 discussion paper about the possible introduction of a digital pound, which, it says, shows strong agreement that the bank should at very least be careful studying a central bank digital currency. So England now, they are looking to what? To implement a central bank digital currency, you know what I mean? And well, they're talking about being careful and going into it, but it's just a show. It's just a show, It's just like out here in Jamaica with the NIDS when they first introduced it, Supreme Court shoot it down, and then they thought that they acted like they were concerned about people's privacy, talking about it violates a person's right of privacy and all of that bullshit, and that they're gonna amend it, and they've already amended it. I think they even right now in 2021 they are looking to implement the NIDS in September, right? Which is what's that, 2-3 months from now, you know. But it's all a talk, it's all a show. England will, even though they didn't say that they won't, in the article, they just said that, look, let's be careful in going into it. But they will implement a CBDC. It's a global initiative, a new world order, global domination. That's what the elites are looking for, So you have all these countries firstly coming out with an NIDS, National Identification System, you know what I mean, and then you have them talking about building their infrastructure, getting what digital or smart cities, you know what I mean, especially on drones. I know talking about central bank digital currencies, right? Let's see, let's read a little more into it. The Bank of England has now published a summary of the results that discussion, identifying the following as its working principles for the next stage of its CBDC project. So they started a project, yo. They are going to implement it, right? These are all the different principles, right, for the next stage. So yeah, I won't go into it. I'll leave the article in the description box. I have read through all of it, but for time's sake, let's move on. Alright, so new forms of money. So it's another digital money, that is another look into um digital currency CBDC. England basically looking into digital currency CBDC. But I wanted to bring out, I think it's in the second paragraph here, it says over the past decade there has been rapid innovation in how people make payments. And yeah, well, you know, has accelerated these trends. Taboo 19 has accelerated these trends. The use of physical cash in payments continues to decline. Right, you have it. Decline ultimately will be eradicated. I've seen a couple articles saying that what um cashless is king, right, and the reign of money, or the era of cash is out. I mean, it's over. It says, and demand for convenience, especially with regard to e-commerce, has fueled the public appetite for digital payments. Fintech firms, financial technology firms, and in some cases big technology firms are developing alternatives to traditional forms of money. These include stable coins, which is something that I'm looking into as well, stable coins, because what I mean, they're talking about having stable coins run alongside CBDC, what I mean. But let's see how that's gonna go. It's called stable coins um are digital coins which quote unquote are backed by um the fiat as well. I mean, so they're separate from CBDC. I mean, they will be like crypto, but these are backed by the fiat. You can look up what stable coin is. It says these include stablecoins, crypto assets that aim to reduce volatility by pegging their value to governments they have it sponsored or fiat currency. So they're planning to have them backed by fiat currencies. At the same time, central banks globally are exploring the possibility of issuing a digital form of central bank money. See, globally, key operative word, globally, central banks globally. Even BOJ Ontario, I'll read it in the next article. BOJ Bank of Jamaica, yo. Right, again, I've said it. Bahamas went digital, yo. Are exploring the possibility of issuing a digital form of central bank money, often referred to as central bank digital currencies. Yeah. I wanted to get into when it comes on to that. Right. Let's just get rid of that. All right. So the next one, it is this. It says interview with the Central Bank of Jamaica and e-currency on CBDCs. Central Bank of Jamaica and e-currency delve into the topic of CBDCs based on the pilot that currently tests a digital Jamaican dollar. Bank of Jamaica BOJ. How far is the Central Bank of Jamaica in the CBDC journey? Question asked. Could you please give us all the details about the digital Jamaican dollar, Jamaica CBDCs? Alright, response. In July 2020, Bank of Jamaica, the bank, launched its central bank digital currency initiative. So they started the initiative in 2020. The proposed CBDC will be a digital form and central bank issued currency that will constitute legal tender fiat currency. Right? The expectation is that CBDC will achieve multiple objectives, including financial inclusion, improved cash management, reduced cost to the bank, and deposit taking institution, additional means of efficient and secure non-cash payment, additional means of storing value at no cost, and improved retail payment system. Following the public tender process, the bank received 43 submissions from entities across the globe, and provider eCurrency Mint Incorporated was identified and contracted in March 2021. eCurrency Mint solution. So that's just the fintech that's gonna work on the but I won't give it the name, but the Jamaican CBDC. You know, they've started work. Well, the initiative started in 2020, July 2020, but May 2021 is when they actually started working on the implementation of the CBDC. You know what I mean? They're looking to have it put in place by, I think it's the third quarter of this year over into the first quarter of next year, 2022. You know what I mean? But again, I'll leave this link in the description box as well for those who want to get into it, yo. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what's fresh. You know what I mean? Fresh in the news. Let me just get this real quick. Alright, it's like a second. Yeah, so let's get this reason on why I want to as well, because hey, we're not ignorant of these elites devices. Yeah, we know that it's a global initiative, right? So when we see all these moves being made, we know what it's for. We know what the end game is. We see where the road ends. Ultimately, Esau, where it ends, it's where Yahweh Shemeshai pull the rug from under your foot. Because hey, when you're about to full your belly, yo, Yahweh Shemeshai is gonna pull the rug from under your foot, yo. Right? Because what? Your time is appointed. Right? Going into Job 5 and 14, your time is appointed, yo. You know? It says here as Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, yo. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can get the other preset that I quoted. And ignorant mean what? To not know, yo. Right? We know about it. We know about the devices. We know about, right, your agenda, your wicked agenda, right? So I can let's see if I can get this. He is about, you know what I mean? And because we know we still what watching as we were commanded, and when we see these little subliminal moves being made, we'll call you out on it, yo, and warn our people. We're not ignorant of your devices, young devil. This is Job 20 and 23. It says, when he's about to fulfill his belly, Yahweh Shai shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So yes, Esau will get to chip a lot of people, especially a lot of you Jakes, yo. You know what I mean? But Esau won't get total world domination, yo. Esau won't get to chip the elect. The elect won't bow to you, damn devils. You know what I mean? Yahweh Shai, he's gonna rise up to the prey. He's gonna lift up a standard against you devils, and ultimately with a strong arm and mighty power, right? Hey, end your rulership, yo. End your reign of terror. Damn devils. Right? So let's see here. This is I'm talking about, you know what I mean, well, the elites, that is the elites of Esau. Ultimately Esau, so called white Caucasian male, yo, and female, you know what I mean? So called. You know what I mean? Cavemen and women. Alright, so let's see here. Let me get Revelation 13. Let's get into it, yo. You know what I mean? And 16. It says, for start of 15, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, right, which is the power structure of America, EU, NATO. This whole power structure that is set up right now, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause many as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's why a lot of, you know what I mean, a lot of people will be put to death for not taking, you know what I mean, or not bowing to Esau, not taking that Friday mic chip, you know. That's the hour of temptation. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their hand or in their forehead. It's small and great. You're a small man, a lowly farmer, a lowly poor man, or you're a great man, what I mean, great in it can be stature, in reputation, rich, poor, free or bond, in jailhouse, out of jailhouse. You're gonna have to receive that mark in your right hand or your forehead, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here's wisdom. Let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Esau's favorite number, Chi Sty Stigma. You know what I mean? And the mark again, it is the RFID microchip here. You know what I mean? Right? Don't take the RFID microchip when it comes about. It is here, but when he wants to force it upon you, don't take it, right? Reject it, you know, because the mark again, it is the RFID microchip. We can go into the word mark, right, where it goes into charagma, charax, grapho, right? But at this point, I'm hoping that if you're watching, you already know what it is, right? So I won't go into that, and that's why it's vital to get this knowledge right now. You know what I mean? Because wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, as the scripture says. In the time to come, you're gonna need to be in the know, right? To know how to maneuver, how to get by. You're gonna have to be in the know, So let me just get this and I'll close out with this. This is Habakkuk 2. I'll just get to the point. It says, verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, right? The implementation of the RFID microchip, the mark of the beast, the oath of temptation. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So with that, hope this was informative. For the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemir Shai, give now praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemir Shai. The learners again to our apostles and elders of GMS Gramos to whom we teach and rule well, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemir Shai, peace, love, and salutations to the elect of Israel. Shalom.